Hey, welcome back to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, and trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so you can easily choose the best watch for yourself in the comfort of your own home. We offer the lowest prices anywhere online. If you'd like to know the price, simply click on the links in the description below. We greatly appreciate if you purchase your next watch from us at JazzTime.com. Today we'll be taking a look at this Tudor Black Bay Chrono SNG, reference number 79363N. Now this one, the SNG standing for steel and gold, well, is actually a little bit different from the bracelet version of this watch, and that being only really in the strap, but also what is known as the bund strap, this sort of detachable and removable leather portion here that sort of separates the wrist from the back of the watch case. So I'll be going over all of the features of this watch, including the case, the dial, the bezel, the crown functions, as well as the chronograph functions, and the strap, and the movement. And I'll be giving my thoughts on these throughout this video. So starting off with this case, we do have the 41mm case size from the 2 o'clock to 8 o'clock position. That's between thumb and finger. All right, same distance between the 10 and 4 o'clock position, minus the pushers, obviously. So 41mm is the diameter. You have a full steel construction here for the case, a nice high polish along the sides, along with a satin brush finishing along the front of the case here, as you can see, as evident on the fronts of these lugs. So generally all stainless steel when it comes to the case itself, but the rest of the construction here is actually in yellow gold. So taking a look at the side of this bezel here, you do have a yellow gold construction out of the sort of outer portion, and you have a fixed matte black anodized aluminum disc insert, complete with the tachymetric scale. As you can see, it shows you the units per hour based on however many units you're generating per minute, for example, and you can just calculate it per hour by using the numbers on the tachymeter bezel here. Yellow gold markings as well for all the text here, makes it a very nice and very classy overall look. And speaking of that, we do have the dial, also a matte black color with a somewhat of a maxi style dial. We have the 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, and 11 hour marks, all with the dot markers, with the 12 o'clock being a sort of shortened triangle for the 12 o'clock at midnight marker. You also have the signature snowflake hour hand and long minute hand there. If I turn out the lights here, you can actually see the luminescence very clearly, incredibly bright. So it's not the chromolite that you would expect from Rolex, but you know, this being the sister company to Rolex, it's incredibly bright still. Very, very nice tint of green there. All right, and now taking a look at the details of this dial here, we do have a 45-minute chronograph subdial at the 3 o'clock and a small seconds subdial at the 9 o'clock. And interestingly enough, we do have a date aperture at the 6 o'clock, white background with black text. All right, now taking a look at the overall functions of this watch, it's a little bit easier if you do not have the bund strap portion on, which can be removed. It's a little bit of a sort of like a set of hula hoops to get this off of the back of the watch, but basically you can just sort of separate it for a little bit, literally just pull the bund strap backwards and unscrew the pushers at the 2 o'clock and 4 o'clock positions respectively for the chronograph functions here. Now, as long as the watch is functioning, as you can see, the seconds hand is moving, so you can then press the top pusher to start that chronograph hand, center mounted. All right, moves at the same pace as the seconds hand. Thanks to the vertical column wheel, or vertical clutch rather, you can basically keep this running as a large center mount seconds hand, should you so desire, without any wear on the movement. Also note the slight tick up once, well actually I am out of power reserve here, there we go. So let's get this started up once more. There we go. And notice that slight tick up on the subdial at the 3 o'clock position. All right. To stop the chronograph hand, simply press the top button once more, and to reset all of it, just press the bottom button to reset the center mounted chronograph hand as well as the 45-minute dial back to 0. Now, what I just showed you was how to wind the watch, so let me screw in these pushers once more back to where they should be. And by the way, all of the construction here allows the waterproofness of this watch down to 200 meters or 660 feet below sea level, as you can see in the red text. So quite good from Tudor, a very, very good sports model indeed. All right, so if you run out of power reserve, as you saw earlier, simply unwind the crown at the 3 o'clock position, and at this base position, just wind the crown clockwise. This allows you to charge the mainspring barrel of the watch, thereby winding the watch internally and manually. And once you start feeling the resistance and the damping starting to ramp up, you can then stop because you've reached the full power reserve. Rather simple there. Pull the crown out to the next position and continue to rotate it clockwise, and it's about between a quarter turn and a half turn actually to advance the date forward. So it's one comfortable turn basically to advance the date by 1. So if you find yourself to be a time traveler, well, this is probably not the best function for you, but you know, that's all well and good. If you're a normal person, if you are on the sort of an odd numbered month, say April 30th, for example, tomorrow is May 1st, we'll just move it over once, wait for the hour hand to sweep past midnight, or vice versa, and you'll be on the 1st of May, nice and easy. Now pull the crown out to the final position, and note that it actually does stop that seconds hand, and also it stops that chronograph hand as well, so you can then set the minute hand and place it exactly wherever it needs to go based on the position of that seconds hand, or if you elect to ignore that small seconds, you can use the large center mounted chronograph hand as your large seconds if you so desire. All right, using the minute track, you can then place it wherever it needs to go. And once you have it synced up nice to an atomic clock, just press the crown back in to get it started once more. You can see the small seconds now starting to move. And don't forget to screw the crown back in tightly against the case to ensure that superior water resistance. So what's working on the inside? It is the movement, what they call the manufacturer caliber MT5813 COSC certified. Now when they say manufacturer, they mean to imply that the movement on the inside is actually made in-house, but you know, it actually kind of isn't. It sort of is, but kind of isn't. So let me explain. You can't see through the case back, but you do have that added steel for the security of the movement on the inside. But basically, the movement was derived from the Breitling caliber B01, and that's what allows it to basically fill this entire space and give you that date aperture. Different from what you would get from a Rolex Daytona, the sort of sibling company to Tudor, which has the Rolex caliber 4130. The 4130 does not feature a date window or date function, so consider that when you're sort of making your buying decision between, say, this Black Bay chronograph versus the Rolex Daytona. If the date is important to you, you have it here on this Tudor, but not on the Rolex. All right. Also, basically keep in mind that the movement on the inside sort of takes the best of both worlds of the Breitling caliber B01 and the Rolex 4130. So it beats at a frequency of 28,800 vibrations per hour. It gives you the utmost accuracy as you would need for a chronograph function within 1/8 of a second. The power reserve, 70 hours. So that sort of takes from the Rolex Daytona with its impressive power reserve, despite being also a chronograph, automatic chronograph that is. It also has a silicon balance spring and I believe free sprung balance with 4 inertia blocks, yes. So basically that means you can take a few bumps here and there, you can get relatively close to magnets or circuitry and the like, and it will keep track of time no matter the issue, because it's basically electromagnetic proof and highly shock resistant as well, as you would expect from a sports model watch. All right, so again, 70 hours of power reserve. That basically you can set it down on a Friday evening, pick it back up early Monday morning, ready to conduct business. No need to wind the watch. Just wear it all of Monday, and the bidirectional self-winding rotor on the inside will actually keep the watch wound up to the full power reserve. Again, just wear it all of Monday and you're good to go. Now taking a look at this leather strap here, kind of an interesting leather strap because you do have the brown leather as part of the strap here. That's pretty normal, with a sort of matching yellow gold colored stitching going around the perimeter there. Right, you have two minder loops and you have a security clasp here, or a safety catch with the folding clasp. So simply just lift from the bottom of the Tudor word mark and then just lift the rest of it, and there you go. There's the opening for the clasp on the inside, and it does come with a set of sizing holes on the other side of the strap, so you can basically, you know, size on the fly should you so desire. All right, now keep in mind that if you want to remove the bund strap, you do actually have to remove the clasp itself, the entire assembly here, or remove the strap from the lugs of the watch, either or. But I believe it's actually easier. It's generally easier if you use it through the clasp side, because this side of the strap is smaller than that of the lug width of the thickest portion of the strap there. So keep that in mind if you do plan to remove this, and just keep it a nice clean sort of just steel case with leather bracelet or leather strap. You do have that option with this removable leather bund. All right, so let me try it on my wrist here, give you an idea as to what it looks like on a 7-inch wrist at least. That's my measurement. All right, so it's a little bit big for me because I do have it sized a little bit big, but pulling it a little bit more taut there we go. You can see that the case itself, even though it is a 41mm case, does wear kind of closer to like a 43, 44, even a 45mm case, and that's due to the sort of visual spatial increase here of the case size done by the chronograph hands, or chronograph pushers rather, and the crown here. But when you're measuring the case by itself, it is 41mm. The lug-to-lug distance makes it also a very wide stance on the wrist, and with the bund strap just increases that size a little bit more, out to, I believe, an actual 45mm. I haven't measured this myself, but it is quite big. Looking at it down the strap here, or down the arm here, there's, well, the bund strap does hug the wrist, so basically it keeps the case off of your wrist. I don't know the literal reason why this is here, but you know, maybe if you do appreciate the overall feel of leather and you don't like having metal on your skin, you'll only experience it on the clasp portion down here on the bottom of your wrist, as opposed to having it on the top of your wrist where the case is. So you won't feel it on the case. So if it's like a very cold morning, maybe this will save you from, you know, jumping out of your skin with the very cold case touching your skin. But that's the only application I can think of. I don't really know what exactly this bund strap is for. If anyone knows, just leave us an answer down in the comments below. But with the bund strap on, no space underneath the lugs because, well, it just hugs the wrist, really. If you do it without the bund strap, there's a bit of space under the lugs, giving you a little bit more breathing room under, sort of under the strap and for your wrist. So you do get that added, you know, sense of, I guess, breathability for your wrist if you do take the strap off. And looking at it face on, incredibly easy to read because, well, you can't get more high contrast than black and white, and having these sort of champagne subdials there gives it a very interesting look, sort of like a reverse panda look with gold in it. The black and gold color scheme gives a very, very nice high, very good sense of elegance and class to it, and the sort of, I very much enjoy the black matte surfacing here, because even though it is reflecting as much light as a, you know, fully a glossy finish or like a ceramic finish, the matte finish does disperse the light rather than just simply reflect it into, you know, whatever direction. The dispersion of light does make it a little bit easier to read than, you know, a full-on reflective surface. So actually very good thought, very good design from Tudor there. And under this sapphire crystal, not fully flat, but flat enough so that it does help sort of reduce the glare and reflection of other objects around the room. So very, very good from Tudor there. All right, but that's pretty much all I need to say about this, all I have to say about this. What do you guys think about this watch? Let us know down in the comments below. If you have any thoughts on this, you know, this blunt strap, or just a leather strap in general, or just this watch in general, the Tudor Black Bay Chrono, the reference number reference number 79363N. All right, let us know down in the comments below what you think about this watch. If you happen to enjoy this video, hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell notification so you can be notified when we go live with another video like this one. And as always, if you'd like to purchase this watch or any other watch, visit our store at jazztime.com. Links in the description below, where you can get it for the lowest possible price anywhere online. Take care, thanks for watching, we'll see you in the next one.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to Model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page, where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model, and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.